Well, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports, an early morning edition of TTP Sports to recap last night's Phillies victory over the Los Angeles Dodgers. What a win for this Phillies ball club. It was kind of annoying that, it kind of went as late as it did since we're on the East Coast. The game's going till what, 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. So it was like, come on, just end so we can all go to bed at this point. You get the lead in the ninth inning. Familia comes out. You already know that's going to be a nightmare just because of Jose Alvarado, and the Familia experience has not been good to start off this season, and it goes basically how you expect it, as Justin Turner ties it in the ninth inning with a 2-run shot. But the Phillies offense in this game, they just responded to literally everything. They had every single pitcher's back in this game. And especially when you're going into this game, originally you're supposed to have Clayton Kershaw on the mound, and then you eventually have to face Walker Buehler because Clayton Kershaw gets put on the IL. So you get changed into the matchup before you go into the game, and you still, Walker Buehler's a stud and everything like that, but you managed to get to him. You managed to make him, allow runs, something that he's not been used to this season. Really, probably one of his worst starts of the year. You got to him. You got to the Dodgers bullpen. Bryce Harper has been amazing. Bryce Harper has been going on an insane stretch, and it's fantastic to watch. We're watching 2021 MVP Bryce Harper form right here with the way he's doing his all without one elbow, with the torn UCL in his right elbow. He's doing his all with one elbow, hitting bombs, all these extra base hits, doubles, driving in these runs. It's simply fantastic to watch Bryce Harper put on this clinic. And then also some other guys. Alec Boehm continues to hit. Nick Castellanos with a huge RBI in the 10th inning. Bryson Stott getting 3 RBIs in this game, probably his best game in his MLB career so far. Everyone chipped in. Everyone did their little thing into the offense today, and they backed up all the pitchers for a pretty disappointing start by Kyle Gibson in this game. But we'll get into that in a little bit. So before we get into everything about this game, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports. The most important thing you can do is hit that subscribe button and also drop a like on the like button as well if you're looking for all the latest Philadelphia sports news, recaps, and events. This is a place to be at, depending on the outcome, great or miserable, depending on the outcome. And if you are a current viewer of the channel, I'm grateful for you being here that long and looking to continue that down the road. And if you're looking for tickets to upcoming sporting events, concerts, whatever you can think of, use the code TTP Sports down below for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. So, be tickets to any upcoming Phillies home game. Deal you cannot pass up. Free $20 in your pocket. Use that for parking. Use that for concessions. Anything you can think of. It's a great deal. Use the code TTP Sports, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek today. So the Phillies take the second game. At this point, the best you can get with this Los Angeles Dodgers team is a split, and you win the first 2 games of the series, which no one coming into the series expected. You're now 16-17 on the season, and honestly, you have a chance to win this series tonight with Ranger Suarez on the bump. Going up, I think it's against Rhys, I believe, for the Dodgers. But still, you have a chance to win this series either today with Ranger Suarez on the bump or tomorrow with Aaron Nola on the bump. And hey, if you could find, I was fine coming into a series if you found a way to split. If you could find a way to take 3 games in this series, I'll be ecstatic about that. But still, I am perfectly fine with a split. This Dodgers team is no joke with the way they responded to everything the Phillies basically did yesterday. So, yeah, this Dodgers team is not an easy out with all the weapons that they have in their lineup. But still, Phillies put up a very tough fight. And in the end, they got the win. And also Francisco Morales, the very young guy out there in his second major league appearance, probably shouldn't have been out there because, you don't want to put a rookie in that situation. But your bullpen was so taxed coming into this game from, the Bailey Falter start in Seattle, yesterday's ball game with using all those bullpen arms. And now today, you got to use so many bullpen arms. Nick Nelson out of the bullpen was actually fantastic. There were some pieces out of the bullpen that did their job today. Norwood did a great job. Nelson was great. Brad Hand allowed a run, but still, he was pretty solid. Basically, your worst guy out of the bullpen was Familia. But still, overall, I'm more disappointed in Kyle Gibson than anything, just because at this point we do know what Kyle Gibson is. He is that typical 4th-5th type starter. He's going to give you his good games and he's going to give you his bad games, but he's also a guy that can eat innings for you, especially when your bullpen is taxed. But sadly, Kyle Gibson was not able to do that today. After the first 2 innings where he looked dominant, for some reason in that 3rd inning, everything just, clicked in the wrong direction, especially for the Dodgers. Kyle Gibson only goes 3 2/3 innings in this ball game. He allows 8 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and 1 home run on 69 pitches. His ERA is now up to 4.10. I believe his ERA was like around 2.5 something coming into this ball game. So yeah, the Dodgers sparked that up a little bit. Even though, yeah, Kyle Gibson was very good to start this season, and he was really due for a bad start here. Sadly, he chose the worst time to give you his bad start on the season against the Los Angeles Dodgers, that absolute powerhouse of a lineup. So, yeah, sadly, that was the case. But then the rest of the bullpen, you look at what they did. James Norwood, he did his job. He got 3 strikeouts coming in relief for Gibson on 16 pitches. He did a fantastic job out there. Bilotti allows a couple of hits and also allows a run, gets a strikeout, isn't able to complete his inning of work. Brad Hand has to come in. Brad Hand does allow the run in that situation, which gets charged to Bilotti, but then he manages to get out of that inning, only allowing that 1 run. Nelson comes in for an inning and 2/3. He was simply fantastic. The fastball was electric, clocking in at 97 out there. So he did his job with 2 strikeouts on 18 pitches. I'm honestly very surprised because the pitch count was so low for him. I was surprised that, Joe Girardi didn't decide to go to Nelson out of the bullpen for the 9th inning with the way he was shutting down this Dodgers lineup. But no, it was kind of told on the broadcast and kind of spoiled that Familia was going to be the closer coming into this game if the Phillies were leading in the 9th inning. And that's exactly what happened. Familia basically goes as what you expected. 2 hits allowed, the 2-run bomb to Justin Turner in the 9th inning, and he also gets 1 strikeout on 27 pitches. And then you get Francisco Morales in the bottom of the 10th inning. Had a little bit of control issues with his slider. He allows 3 walks in the inning, but then he gets that huge double play to, I believe, what was it, Justin Turner or something like that? I believe that was who the double play was for, but still, he got a huge double play in that inning, and then he managed to get out of it. I do believe, actually, the double play was against Mookie Betts, and that did score a run, but still, Morales was able to get out of that situation and get the save. So, hey, goodbye the young kid in a very tough situation. It's basically just saying, hey, kid, I know this is your 2nd major league appearance, but hey, our bullpen is taxed and we need you to go get a win out there against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Ooh, he struggled a little bit. You could definitely tell there was nerves in, Morales there, but he managed to, eat it up a little bit, managed to get the out, allowed the run, but you'll take that any day when you get into a double play. You got the job done. That's basically all that matters at that point. So let's go into what happened basically majority throughout this game. Go to the top of the 2nd inning. Honestly, both teams, their bottom part of the lineups were doing a lot of damage early on in this ball game, and that started with the way for the Phillies in the top of the 2nd inning. Rhys Hoskins gets a single, Herrera gets a single, so you get 2 out. You got 2 base runners on there for Johan Camargo. He gets into a force out, which allows Herrera and Hoskins to move the 2nd and 3rd base. And then Bryson Stott just shooting it the other way for a single, which gets 2 RBIs home, makes it a 2-0 ball game. And it's weird, too, with Bryson Stott with the way, sometimes, most of the time during his major league call-up, he has looked a little bit overmatched. But the pitchers that he is getting hits against, it's kind of not the pitchers you expect it to be, because he's getting hits off Max Scherzer a lot, and he's also now getting hits off Walker Buehler. So does Bryson Stott isn't just not affected by the better pitchers in baseball? I have no idea, but hey, Bryson Stott definitely needed this game today because it was fantastic. So the Phillies take a 2-0 lead in the top of the 2nd inning. Go to the bottom of the 3rd. This is when the Dodgers respond with their huge inning. Chris Taylor leads off with a solo shot. Kyle Gibson hangs a slider, and it goes out of the ballpark. Barnes doubles, and then Mookie Betts doubles as well to tie the ball game up at 2. Kyle Gibson walks Freddie Freeman. Trey Turner then flies out, which moves Mookie Betts over the 3rd base. So you get a 2 outs right here. But then Max Muncy singles, scores Betts, makes it 3-2. Then Justin Turner doubles 2. Well, actually, Trey Turner was the one that flew out. Justin Turner gets a double to center field, which scores Freeman and Muncy, making it a 5-2 ball game. So, yeah, not a good inning by Kyle Gibson. Hung a lot of breaking balls out there. And Ricky Pitaligo did bring this up, too, in the post-game report, that for some reason Just Kyle Gibson was just decided to go away from his sinker, which was doing damage for him in the first 2 innings. Then for some reason, they just kept pounding off speed pitches, and it wasn't working. So just not a good bottom half of the 3rd inning. But the Phillies respond. The Phillies respond in the top of the 4th inning. Odubel Herrera gets a double. He was fantastic in this game. Bryson Stott gets a single, which scores Odubel Herrera, making it a 3-5 game. And then Kyle Schwarber hits an absolute piss missile. I mean, this ball was smoked. 430 feet bomb. I think the exit velocity was like 113 miles an hour. The dude smoked this ball. Kind of get you a little bit of resemblance to Matt Stairs in the 2008 NLCS against the Dodgers, putting the Phillies up in that game. What was it, in the top of the 8th inning? Kind of gave you a little bit of replication to that because both of those balls were absolutely smoked. Ties the ball game up at 5 apiece. Phillies got a couple of base runners in the rest of the 4th inning, but they don't manage to get it home. But they do tie the ball game up, which is important. Kyle Gibson now lets the Dodgers respond in the bottom of the 4th. Taylor leads off with a single. Then you get to move the second on the ground out, and then Barden singles to score Taylor to make it a 6-5 ball game. Norwood eventually has to come in to finish this inning. Kyle Gibson does get the second out, but then he allows a 2-out single to Freddie Freeman. So you get a 1st and 3rd situation. Norwood has to come out here, and he strikes out Trey Turner. So great job there by Norwood. Phillies don't do anything in the top half of the 5th inning. Bottom half, Norwood gets a 1-2-3 inning, definitely much needed from that situation. And then you go to the Phillies in their top half of the 6th in their big inning. Camargo leads off with a single. Bryson Stott then gets a walk. So you get 1st and 2nd for Kyle Schwarber. He works the count, gets a 4-pitch walk. So you get bases loaded for Alec Bohm. So originally the Dodgers did go to the bullpen to start this inning. The first guy walks the first 3 batters, could not locate whatsoever. Then they go to the bullpen once again, bring out Phillips. Alec Bohm comes up with the bases loaded, works the count, makes it a 2-2 count, hits a sac fly. Situational hitting. Alec Bohm, just a fantastic piece of hitting there, tying the ball game up at 6. Sac fly right there. Bryce Harper, my goodness. Bryce Harper rips a double down the right field line, scores the rest of the runners. Stott and Schwarber makes it a 7-6. No, actually, Schwarber goes to 3rd base, but he scores Bryson Stott, makes it a 7-6 ball game. Then Castellanos rips an RBI single, scores Schwarber, but then Harper, I guess, it was the way the ball was hit. It was a line drive. It was a hard line drive to left field. So originally Bryce Harper stopped on the play, but then when the ball landed, he decided to run. And then he tried to go home, tried to take home to get that extra run in. He was gunned out at home plate by like a mile. But I do appreciate the hustle by Bryce Harper. It was just a very hard hit. So honestly, with the way he was running, I thought he was going to be safe by a mile. Sadly, he was out by a mile. But still, Phillies lead this game 8-6 after the top of the 6th inning. Dodgers get one more run back in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bellotti out there on the mound gets the first 2 outs. But then all this damage for the Dodgers, it's done with 2 outs. Barnes reaches in on an infield single. A little bit of a hard hit that went in and out of the glove of Alec Bohm. Not going to fully blame him on that situation. The ball was absolutely ripped. Then Mookie Betts gets a single, which gets Barnes over the 3rd base. Brad Hand comes in to try to get out of that inning. Freddie Freeman, he works the count. He gets into a 3-2 count and then walks him. So you get a bases loaded situation for Trey Turner. Gets hit with a slider in the foot, and that brings home a run, makes it an 8-7 ball game. But then Brad Hand manages to strike out Max Muncy without any further damage done. Top of the 7th inning, Phillies don't get anything done there. Bottom of the 7th inning for the Dodgers, Brad Hand back out there, gets 1 out, but then walks Bellinger. And then Nick Nelson comes out and gets the next 2 guys. He was absolutely dealing in this game. Go to the top of the 8th inning. Another bullpen piece out there for the Dodgers. Bryce Harper hits an absolute bomb to right field. First pitch swinging, gets a pitch right down the middle and sends it into the right field stands. Makes it a 9-7 ball game. Bryce Harper was on an absolute clinic, especially this week and especially in this series against the Dodgers. He has been fantastic. Bottom of the 8th inning for the Dodgers. Nelson back out there on the mound, gets a 1-2-3 inning. Definitely a much needed shutdown inning. Phillies in their top half of the 9th inning. Nothing goes on for them. So then you go to the bottom of the 9th. Familia comes out there on the mound, allows a leadoff single to Trey Turner. He absolutely worked the count to make it 3-2, fouled off a couple of pitches, and then, gets the 3-2 count single. Good piece of hitting there by Trey Turner. But then Max Muncy grounds into a fielder's choice, which is huge in this situation. Great play by Rhys Hoskins. Great heads-up play, actually. manages to get Trey Turner out in second base. Sadly, he could not turn the double play just because Max Muncy was hustling down the first base line. Not going to basically blame anyone in that situation. You get the force out, you get the fastest runner off the base paths. That's the more important thing. But then Justin Turner up at the plate, 2-strike count. For some reason, the entire at bat, throwing a bunch of sinkers, hangs a splitter in a 1-2, well, actually a 2-2 count to Justin Turner, and he was sitting on it the entire way and sends it out into the left field stands, and he got a tie ball game up. 9 runs apiece for both teams. And we're like, oh, God, can we just go to bed? And sadly, that's not the case. Dodgers tie it up. Familia does get the last 2 guys out. Chris Taylor actually missed a home run. He crushed it to the warning track. Thankfully, it died out there. And it wasn't a walk-off home run in that situation. So, go to the top of the 10th inning with the ghost runners on now. Alec Boehm leads off with a ground out, but he manages to get Roman Quinn to third base. Roman Quinn did come into the 9th inning for the defensive replacement for Kyle Schwarber. So I guess in this situation, it does kind of help since you do have speed on the base paths. But, you kind of want Kyle Schwarber, especially in the extra innings. But I'm not going to fully complain because the Phillies did score their runs. Bryce Harper gets intentionally walked, which was expected because he was absolutely mashing the ball today. And Nick Castellanos with a huge at-bat, doubles down the left field line, scores Quinn, scores Bryce Harper, makes it 11-2. And then Nick Castellanos scores on a throwing error by Barnes. They try to pick him off at third base, throws the ball away, and it makes it a 12-9 ball game. Just excellent base running and cashing in on some mistakes by the Dodgers. Then the Phillies end the inning, but you're up by 3 runs. Let's try to win this ball game. Morales out there for the 10th inning. You can tell he is nervous. It's his second major league appearance, getting his first safe situation against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Good luck, kid. And you can tell throwing a lot of sliders, could not get location whatsoever on those sliders. Walks the first guy in Gavin Lux, and then he walks the next guy in Barnes. So he's throwing a lot of balls. First 2 guys on, and then Mookie Betts grounds into a huge double play, which does score a run, but you get that huge double play in that situation. Then Freddie Freeman walks, but then you manage to get Trey Turner, who worked the count, the ground into a fielder's choice. Bryson Stott bobbled it a little bit. He definitely did it at shortstop, but he managed to get the force out at second base, and this ball game finally ended at around like 2:30 in the morning Eastern time. So no harm done. No harm done. We were finally able to go to bed. So going to the lineup in this ball game, Kyle Schwarber with the huge 2-run bomb goes 1 for 5 with 2 RBIs, a walk, and a strikeout. Alec Boehm, fantastic at the plate in this game, goes 2 for 5 with an RBI on the sac fly. Bryce Harper, another multi-hit game. He goes 3 for 4. All hits were extra base hits, 2 doubles, and a bomb. 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs, 2 walks for Bryce Harper. Averages up to 291. And all the numbers for Bryce Harper just continue to rise in that DH spot. Nick Castellanos, fantastic in this game. 2 for 5. No, it's actually 2 for 6 with 3 RBIs. JT Realmuto was the lone quiet guy in this game. He went 0 for 5 in this ball game with a strikeout and a walk. Rhys Hoskins goes 1 for 6 with 4 strikeouts. Odubel Herrera, good day at the plate, 2 for 4 with a couple of extra base hits. Johan Camargo, 2 for 5 with a run scored. And Bryson Stott with a fantastic game. This was a fantastic game by Bryson Stott, going 2 for 3, 2 runs scored, 3 RBIs, basically getting all those early runs in the ballgame for the Phillies and 2 walks as well. Fantastic game out of Bryson Stott. In terms of runners in scoring position, the Phillies were 5 for 16, so there were a lot of chances in this game, and the Phillies scored a lot of runs. But hey, you get the first 2 wins in this series, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. You're taking the first 2 games in a 4-game set against the Los Angeles Dodgers. No one was really expecting that. So going into the rest of the series, starting later today, if I can find it, we got Ranger Suarez going up on the mound, going up against Rhys. And then you're going to get tomorrow afternoon's game with Nola on the bump. We don't know who's pitching for the Dodgers, though. So because of the whole Clayton Kershaw situation, so they're probably going to have to use either a bullpen game or someone calling up from AAA or something like that. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens in that situation. And for the rest, going into the homestand that's coming up against the Padres and the Dodgers once again, Zack Wheeler, Kyle Gibson, Ranger Suarez on the bump against the San Diego Padres, going up against Mackenzie Gore, Clevenger, and Martinez. And then the Dodgers, once again, you're going to have Aaron Nola on the bump to start that series. Whoever starts the second game, and then also Zack Wheeler on the mound as well. You're going to be facing Urias, Gosselin, and Anderson. So you're facing less of the Dodgers' best starters in that series back at Citizens Bank Park. So try to get a win in either of these last two games. Still, I am perfectly fine with a split because this Dodgers team is, very hard to beat. They showed that in his first two games, but hey, the Phillies offense has been resilient in this series, and the Phillies offense has been great the past, week during this road trip. So that's very good to see. Phillies are 16-17 on the season. Let's see what they do in the rest of this series against the Los Angeles Dodgers, everyone. So, what are your thoughts on this game? What are your thoughts on the performance by the Phillies bats and everything like that? Don't forget to leave your comments and opinions down in the comment section below. I'd like to see those as always. Do not forget to drop a like on this video. Do not forget to check out the Painted Lines, which I'm a part of. Their links are down in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the links to BrodesMedia, the Flyer.pod merch website, and also Flyers Nitty Gritty. All that good stuff is down in the description below. Do not forget to check those out. And like I said at the beginning of the video, the most important thing you can do is hit that sub button and also use the code TTPSports for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. And I will see you next time.